Hey, what is up, F and True followers and the YWC, JC Styles,
Brian Crazy.
Brian Crazy,
High five.
and we are back with our Money in the Bank predictions for 2011. Now, there's a lot of animosity building up and a lot of storyline building up to the main event at Money in the Bank, which, for those of you who don't know, who haven't been able to watch Raw in the last 2 or 3 weeks, CM Punk said some comments that his contract is up at this Sunday. Said some things at the end of one of the Raws, got suspended. John Cena kind of came out, had him reinstated, and then had the contract negotiation last night on Monday Night Raw, which wound up CM Punk just ripping up the contract and now leading into Money in the Bank. But what's the first match on the card?
Yeah, we'll touch a little more on that CM Punk John Cena situation a little later on. We'll give you a little more detailed of a rundown. But for the first match, we'll cover the Divas match. We see Kelly go against Brie Bella. We've seen a big heel turn out of the Bellas as of recent, especially on Monday night on Raw. I mean, they really got into Kelly's face. They actually ended up taking her down, and Eve came out to try to help her. They took her down as well. Remember when Karma came out crying because she was pregnant? They were the only ones that attacked at Karma, verbally, not physically, but, they're now the heels of the Diva division as far as I can tell. And going against Kelly, I like Kelly. Could go either way.
I can see Kelly retaining.
Not too much to dwell on there. Next match, we will see Mark Henry go against The Big Show. And this has been building for several weeks.
Yeah, this has been building up pretty much over the last month. For some reason, I guess Mark Henry's being built up as, basically cut a promo a couple of weeks back that everyone's afraid to face him. Everyone's afraid to get into the ring because, just like his song says, someone's going to get their ass whooped. And it's the truth. Mark Henry has been underappreciated in the WWE as of late. He isn't getting the real big push, but he has the talent there to have that push.
Oh yeah, Mark Henry does have a lot of talent. I feel kind of like since MVP left, he kind of, because remember they were tagging together for quite some time, and they were getting a nice amount of coverage on television every week. As soon as MVP left, Mark Henry kind of fell into a void for a little while. I mean, he was still featured on the weekly shows every week, but it's nice in the last few weeks. He's definitely being dominating. He's gone after the Big Show. He's gone after the Big Show's current tag team partner, Kane, and he even attacked a production assistant.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's being built up as the ultimate heel against Big Show, who right now is probably, I would say, the big face of the company. Well, not the big face, but the big guy who's the face, the fan favorite going to this match. I kind of hope that they go in and just try to rip each other's heads off because, when you put a big guy against a big guy, and as of late they haven't really, gone out there and tore the house off.
Yeah, but you got to appreciate though that Big Show does have a lot of athleticism for how big he is.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I'm hoping for a decent pace match. I'm hoping it's not going to be like two turtles going at it.
Oh no. And I think that both these guys have the opportunity to deliver. And I don't know. Could go either way for me. I would like to see Henry because Henry, it would build his character more, but in the same way I'd like to see Show because Show really hasn't done anything too
since they lost the tag team titles with Kane.
Yeah, there's nothing really spectacular going on. The whole little Del Rio storyline that kind of just fell apart.
Yeah, of my opinion, the same thing as Brian's. It can go either way for me.
Exactly. I guess we'll cover
the Raw Money in the Bank.
The Raw Money in the Bank. Then we'll cover the World Title. Okay. For the Raw Money in the Bank match, we will see Rey Mysterio go against Alberto Del Rio, go against Kofi Kingston, go against Alex Riley, against R-Truth, against The Miz, against Bourne, and against Jack Swagger. This is a star-studded match. I mean, this is probably one of the most stacked Money in the Banks we've had in recent years.
Yeah, there's quite a few people in this match that I would actually like to see win. For instance, off the top of my head, I would like to see, I've been stating Alex Riley, I think, should win. I think his storyline right now with The Miz would kind of push him a little bit further. Then it would give, him kind of a little bit more credibility, like as The Miz had when he won the Money in the Bank and he walked around for almost a year with it. Del Rio, as he's been speaking that it's his destiny or whatever to win the WWE Championship.
Well, an arguable fact, though, is he did win that three-way match on Monday Night Raw. Alberto Del Rio is the number one contender.
Yes. But the thing is, though, that was only if the whole situation with CM Punk, so I really don't know.
I see Del Rio facing
this is
Cena at the next pay-per-view.
This is what I don't understand. Yeah, but he wouldn't be cashing in his Money in the Bank contract.
No, it would be for that match where he earned. I mean, he earned the number one contender. They can't just brush that under the rug. Well, and if they do, I don't think that's really fair. Because I mean,
WWE's done a lot of things that they didn't pass.
Oh, I agree. But I mean, Del Rio deserves this title shot.
I could see A-Ray, I could see Del Rio, I could see Ray, I could see R-Truth. Those four guys right there. I would like to see Ray win it because Ray hasn't won a Money in the Bank match. I would like to see Del Rio win because he hasn't won. All the four guys that I picked haven't won, and three guys out of the four haven't been champions.
Exactly, and I mean, anybody in this list that could win and could stand out. Don't want to dwell on it too long, but exactly, Truth, it would be good to see him in the main event. The Miz, it would elevate him back to the main event. Alberto Del Rio, even though he should rightfully be the number one contender, it would give him an additional shot if he does lose if he does get his number one contender shot, he loses, it can still continue the storyline. He would have another shot. It would be nice to see Ray as WWE champ, so that could go any way. Closing comments or jump into the next match?
Jump right into the next. I mean, I have my four already. Those are my four picks: R-Truth, Del Rio, Alex Riley, and Ray.
I just want to see somebody win that's going to run with it. That's all. That's all I ask for. Any of these guys could win.
I don't want to see Miz win because he's won it. I don't want to see Swagger win because he's won it. I mean, Evan Bourne, you could throw Evan Bourne into the mix. I would like to see him win. I mean, I think he's deserving. I mean, he could cash it in, but doesn't mean he has to win the championship.
Very true. I just, Evan Bourne's a great talent, don't get me wrong, but I'd really like to see if I don't really see him ever as WWE championship material just because multiple things. It's no diss on him or his character, but I see him as like a strong mid-card guy. I can see him holding the IC or the United States Championship and running with it. But that's no diss. Some people in the mid-card have done better than main eventers and been more popular. I mean, perfect example, you got a guy like Jericho who's in the mid-card WCW. He comes over in the first night he's feuding with The Rock, and he's in the main event because he was so popular. But for the next match, we see Christian. He's going to go against the defending World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton. Now, this has been 3 months in the making. I mean, they fought several times already. Christian's come up short. But to be fair, Christian was screwed having to defend the title just a couple days after beating Del Rio for it. Like
you said, he got screwed out of it only a couple days after. I would like to see Christian win it again. People will probably comment in this video, Christian sucks, he can't make it as a main eventer. Randy Orton's the WWE's apex predator. He's so great, blah, blah, blah. You know what the thing is, though? Christian has been in the business for far longer than Randy Orton, and his championship run lasted 2 whole days.
Yeah, if you give the guy a chance. I think that's basically, I hear what you're trying to say. Give the guy a chance, let him run with it for a couple months.
Even when Orton won the championship in 2004 off of Chris Benoit at SummerSlam, he held the title for a month before he lost it to Triple H.
Yeah, I mean, month title runs are common. I mean, you'll see a jump back and forth between pay-per-views, but give the guy a chance, let him run with it. If he really doesn't succeed as they want him to, then you can always swap the belt back to somebody else. But I think the thing is that there's not much star power on SmackDown right now, which they did to themselves. They stacked Raw so heavily. I mean, that's how they broke the draft up. I mean, they stacked Raw. They gave everybody that people tune in to see SmackDown, Del Rio, Ray, Show, all brought them to Raw.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's not that SmackDown's not a horrible show. I still like Sheamus. I like Cody Rhodes. I do like Orton, but I'd like to see something a little bit different for a little while. But, I hope Christian possibly could pick up the strap. Then we'll go into the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match, and then we'll cover the main event, which I assume will be John Cena versus CM Punk. For the SmackDown ladder match, we will see Kane versus Sin Cara versus Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett versus Cody Rhodes versus Gabriel versus Slater versus the Sheamus.
In this match, I would kind of like to see Wade Barrett win. Reason being is, I mean, the guy was kind of his one legitimate title shot last year against Orton was if Barrett won, he would be free from Nexus. If Orton won, he was fired. So basically, they used it as a loophole. Cena was fired. Barrett didn't win. He was screwed. So I think that him winning Money in the Bank this weekend, this Sunday, would be, kind of good, because now he has. I was the leader of the Nexus. I was the leader of the core. Now I'm the Money in the Bank winner, and I got my contract shot. But then again, you got Daniel Bryan, who's been in the company for almost a year now, and then for a year now actually, and he's been United States champion, but hasn't really had that much time on the camera when it comes to the big matches.
Daniel Bryan's another great talent, but I just don't see him in the main event right now.
It doesn't really make a difference if he's not in the main event or not. I could just say winning Money in the Bank is saying something to kind of, accelerate the guy's career. On the other hand, Barrett can win Money in the Bank, and I could see him as world champ. But Daniel Bryan, if they let Daniel Bryan win, I think it would be more as for him to push his career a little bit more in the WWE and get noticed more.
Well, I want to see someone that's going to win Money in the Bank go ahead and get the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's the most important thing here, is the culmination of this. It's the build starts at this event and then culminates when they actually are holding the championship title at the top of the ramp, or they're defeated, which has not happened yet in the history of the Money in the Bank briefcase being cashed in. My opinion, I would like to see either Wade Barrett, because it would be nice to see if Randy Orton did retain, it'd be nice to see Wade Barrett and Randy Orton have a feud again like they did last year. I would like to see Cody Rhodes get elevated, because they're doing great things with Cody Rhodes these days. And
again, I can't see him in the main event. I mean, I can see him in the mid-card or in the tag team division, but for a mid-card, for the main event, I don't know.
I definitely think Cody Rhodes could hang in the main event. I mean, it's not that Daniel Bryan's, like I was saying, it's not he's a bad wrestler. I dislike the guy, but I just don't think. I don't know. Sin Cara just not ready yet. Justin Gabriel not ready yet. Heath Slater not ready yet. Sheamus good chance. Kane good chance. So I mean, I guess it could go 4 ways there, in my opinion.
I would want to see someone. I don't want to see Kane win. Like I said with the Raw, I want to see someone who won it, who hasn't won it. Sheamus, he's had his chance. He's been champion. I want to see someone who hasn't won Money in the Bank and who hasn't been champion. Ray is an exception on Raw because the fact is that he hasn't been champion for quite some time.
Well, he was champion last year.
Yeah, and then he was rightfully screwed out of the title by Kane, because Kane preyed on a weak Ray to set up Undertaker and Kane.
Sure. Very true. Very true. But so we pretty much covered that, and then we'll go into the main event: John Cena versus CM Punk. 3 weeks ago, CM Punk cut a promo on Raw, which got him suspended. Last week, John Cena came out and basically was going to relinquish the WWE Championship because he said it really leave because he really just didn't feel like it meant anything, because CM Punk earned the shot at it, and he wasn't. Vince McMahon wasn't going to allow it. He rightfully got CM Punk reinstated. They went back and forth on this week's edition of Raw. Basically, the stipulation going in the match is this: if CM Punk beats John Cena in Chicago and leaves with the WWE Championship, John Cena is fired.
Yeah.
Right now, it stands as CM Punk's last day is July 19th.
July 19th? What else 18th. Monday Night Raw. If not, then Sunday night.
Sunday night. So it'd be the 17th, excuse me.
But, alright, with this match, this is my scenario. We're either going to see CM Punk beat Cena and leave the company with the championship. B, we're going to see CM Punk beat Cena, but we're going to see the Raw Money in the Bank winner cash it in, and we'll see Cena help that Money in the Bank winner beat Punk because Vince says if he leaves with the WWE Championship, doesn't mean if he wins. So that could be a loophole to keep Cena on Raw and not be fired. But then again, there's rumors flying rampant around the net that Cena is looking to have a couple of weeks off, away from the ring, away from the TV, just to spend time with the family and do things, which I can understand.
If they do the whole Cena's fired angle, this will be the second time in the last year.
But this time they need to keep his ass off television, out of the house shows, period.
Well,
The
unfortunately,
guy's asking for time off, then he needs to give him time off.
I mean, the simple fact is the demographic likes John Cena. I'm not saying he's my favorite
But
guy.
I'm not saying that. But I'm saying though, there's rumors running rampant on the net right now that they want Cena is asking for time off.
And there's also a rumor that Al Gore invented the internet. There is. I swear to God.
Well, yeah, but if you go to any news wrestling website, it all says the same thing, that
Look,
Cena wants the Miz. Cena wants the time off.
As soon as I said that, I stopped you right in your tracks, though. You're like...
But like I said, those are the scenarios I can see happening.
I can see it this way. CM Punk's mentioned on Raw that, that title belt needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
So I could see him leaving, the spinner belt, winning, maybe the Money in the Bank winner cashing in. That's a possibility. See John Cena retaining, CM Punk taking some time off due to the whole situation with Glad. I mean, there's multiple ways this could go. To be honest, I really want to see CM win. I just see John Cena winning.
I could see John Cena winning,
with the
but
current booking.
No matter, either CM Punk wins, he leaves with the title. CM Punk wins, Money in the Bank gets cashed in. Cena wins, Punk goes home, no title, and Cena keeps the job. We see Cena win, Money in the Bank winner cashes in, beats Cena. We don't see Cena on TV for a couple of weeks because he wants his time off.
All possibilities. I think the most likely right now is that we'll see.
It's a big chance Punk can win.
Yeah, well, good chance, but I think right now it's the way the booking's looking is that we'll see John Cena beat CM Punk on Sunday, and then we will see Cena versus Alberto Del Rio, which has been talked about for the last 8 months at SummerSlam.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's a whole.
There's just like 4 or 5 different possibilities. So it can go any way. We will bring you exactly what happens as soon as it happens, and that's about what we have for predictions for tonight.
For predictions, guys, please check out for our plugs of the night. Please check out WrestlingRevolution.com and the members of the Revolution. Please check out Most Extreme Wrestling. It's just not wrestling, but it's extreme.
It's extreme.
Please check out the F and True Click. Please check out our sister channel, F and True Entertainment.
Please check out We Are Pro Wrestling.
Yes. Please check out We Are Pro Wrestling and any of the members of the F and True Click. And also, please check out Power Ranger Center. I got more episodes up if you guys are into that thing. And some asshole keeps disliking my videos. Guys, these are memories frozen in time. You're not going to be able to get this footage anymore, so stop with the dislikes.
And you know what? I mean, we shouldn't chew these guys out.
No, I'm just saying, if any of the person who's disliking those videos is what happens to watch this video, he'll hear me saying what I'm saying. So for F and True Wrestling, guys.
JC got that off his chest. He just took a deep breath and he feels better. Yes, for F and True Wrestling, Brian Crazy,
JC Styles.
And have a great night.
Definitely.
Sure thing.